want in this course to try to shed light on why today in the United States we have as many as 1,500 Protestant denominations. Where in the world did they all come from? So we will be going back and looking at the remote ancestry of that development. And we'll start with late medieval Catholicism and move on to then Martin Luther and why he felt he had to break with the Catholic Church. And we'll do a bit of theology, but we'll also talk about the times and the way people saw the world. I've been fascinated all my career with this subject, as you can tell by the name of the institute that I direct. So I'm really indulging myself by teaching this course. We will include other reformers, other parts of this broad movement that took fire in the first half of the 16th century. And I do intend to include Catholicism, which is undergoing a kind of reformation internally of its own. This is an age in which Catholics too felt themselves called to do better. So I look forward in this course to some reading, some lecturing, and much discussion. As a young woman, I was fascinated by this change when I first became aware of it in a course that I took in college. And somehow it captured my imagination, and I wondered why someone would wish to do this, to make a major break with the entire society and culture that he was a member of. And then, as a more mature person, I wanted to know what the effects on society were. And for me, that has remained the compelling question. It's not so much changes in theology, but it is when a government changes religions, what happens to the people and their beliefs and their way of life? For Catholicism was not merely a garment to be taken off and cast aside. It was really embedded in the people's whole lives. Some of the topics that are going to come up in this course are Martin Luther himself and how he came to believe that he could no longer be an Augustinian friar, but had to rebel against the papacy. But we're not only going to talk about Martin Luther. He did many fascinating things, but I want to include other reformers. Ulrich Zwingli, for example, in Zurich was really a first-class reformer. And then I know everyone has heard of John Calvin. He is a man whose legacy comes down to the United States in many ways, via the Puritans, via Presbyterianism, via Congregationalism, and we are going to look into this man who doesn't actually always attract me as a human being now that I've read hundreds of his sermons, but I'm going to be dispassionate about him in this course, and maybe someone in the course will be able to make me like him better. Come join me in this course. We're going to have a great deal of fun talking about the issues that I know are going to come up in the course of our reading and scrutinizing this period of history.